How to Stop Overthinking. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, we will discuss how to control or stop overthinking. We will also practice English together. So listen carefully, repeat the sentences with me, and enjoy this story that teaches both language and life. Emma was sitting near her window. The rain was falling outside. The sky was gray, and the drops made soft music on the glass. She held a warm cup of tea in her hand, but her heart was heavy. She kept thinking, what if I fail my exam? What if my teacher is disappointed? What if my friend is upset with me? What if my future is dark? Her tea became cold because her thoughts were too hot. This was overthinking. Have you ever sat in your room, thinking about the same worries again and again? Maybe you worry about your grades, your job, your family, or your money. Maybe you ask yourself, what if I cannot succeed? What if something goes wrong? That is overthinking. It steals your peace, it steals your sleep, it makes your mind tired. Emma knew she had to do something. She remembered her teacher once said, when your mind is noisy, move your body. She put on her coat, opened her umbrella, and stepped outside into the rain. She walked slowly. She noticed the sound of her shoes, step, step, step. She noticed the smell of fresh bread from the bakery. She noticed the shining lights from the shops. She felt the cold wind on her face. This is called being present, living in the moment. Emma whispered to herself, I am here now. I am not in my worries. Repeat after me, I am here now. I am not in my worries. Again, I am here now. I am not in my worries. As she walked, her thoughts tried to return. But she tried the second method. She opened her small notebook and began to write. She wrote, I am afraid of failing my exam. She wrote, I am worried my parents will not be proud of me. She wrote, I think my friends might not like me. She wrote, I do not know what will happen with money in the future. When she saw these words on paper, they looked small. They lost their power. Writing makes invisible thoughts visible. Once you see them, you can control them. She smiled and whispered, I can manage these thoughts. Repeat after me. I will write my thoughts down. Again, I will write my thoughts down. Emma walked into the library. She found a quiet corner and picked up a book about calmness. One sentence caught her eye. Ask yourself, is this thought helping me or hurting me? She closed her eyes and asked herself, is this thought helping me or hurting me? She realized, this thought is hurting me. It is not helping me. I will let it go. Practice with me, is this thought helping me or hurting me? Again, is this thought helping me or hurting me? The next morning Emma tried something new. She sat on her bed, closed her eyes, and placed her hand on her chest. She listened to her breathing, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Whenever her mind tried to bring in worries, she returned to her breath. She said to herself, I am safe. I am calm. I am here. Repeat after me, I will focus on my breath. Again, I will focus on my breath. One day Emma met her friend at a cafe. She looked at her and said, I think too much. My head feels heavy. Her friend smiled and said, Me too. But remember, you are not alone. Talking to someone you trust makes your thoughts lighter. When you speak, your mind feels free. Repeat after me, I will talk to someone I trust. Again, I will talk to someone I trust. Emma also discovered something new. She realized that action is stronger than endless thinking. If she was worried about her exam, instead of sitting for hours worrying, she could study for 1 hour. If she was worried about money, instead of thinking all night, she could plan a small budget. If she was worried about the future, she could set one small goal today. She told herself, less thinking, more doing. She laughed, because it was simple but powerful. Repeat after me, less thinking, more doing. Again, less thinking, more doing. Over the next days, Emma practiced all these steps. She walked in the rain. She wrote in her notebook. She questioned her thoughts. She focused on her breath. She talked to her friend. She took action. Slowly, her mind became lighter. Slowly, her heart became calmer. The storm inside her head grew weaker. The rain outside stopped. The clouds moved away. The sun touched the streets. Emma stood on Willow Street, smiling. She whispered, I will not let overthinking control my life. I choose peace. I choose action. I choose the present moment. Now let us review together. Repeat these lines after me. When my mind is noisy, I will move my body. I will write my thoughts down. Is this thought helping me or hurting me? I will focus on my breath. I will talk to someone I trust. Less thinking, more doing. Now I will ask, and you answer. What will you do when your mind is noisy? I will move my body. What will you do when your worries feel big? I will write them down. What will you ask about your thoughts? Is this thought helping me or hurting me? What will you do when you feel nervous? I will focus on my breath. What will you do when you feel alone? I will talk to someone I trust. What is better, more thinking or more doing? Less thinking, more doing. Emma's story is not only her story. It is also your story. Because everyone overthinks sometimes about exams, about work, about money, about relationships, about the future. But the truth is we cannot control everything. What we can control is our response. You cannot stop every thought, but you can choose which thoughts to give power to. Some thoughts you can keep. Some thoughts you can release. So choose peace. Choose action. Choose the present moment. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this lesson, subscribe, like, and share. And remember, speak these sentences again and again to improve your English and your life.